ये है लिविंग वर्ल्ड का। पहले लिविंग वर्ल्ड बहुत सारा चीज़ हट गया है, तो लिविंग वर्ल्ड में सबसे पहले इसका शॉर्ट नोट्स लिखेंगे। टैक्सॉन है जो रियल बायोलॉजिकल एंटिटी है। वेजिटेटिव एंड रिप्रोडक्टिव कैरेक्टर आर द बेसिस फॉर द फैमिली के लिए होते हैं। फिर इसके बाद फिर आता है कि जीनस में अगर देखें तो पैंथरा और फेलिस, फैलिडे और कार्निवोरा। कैनिस, कैनिडे, कार्निवोरा। कार्निवोरा है जो ऑर्डर है। फिर होमो, होमिनिडे, प्राइमेटा उसका ऑर्डर आ जाएगा। मस्का, मसूडे और डिप्टेरा है जो ऑर्डर आ जाता है, हॉस्फ्लाई का है। फाइशियाई, ऑप्सिडाई और अल ये जो ये सफिक्स ऑफ द क्लास का है, सफिक्स है। और इल्स जो है ऑर्डर का सफिक्स आता है। जीनस फैमिली है जो ऑर्डर, क्लास और डिवीजन। इस प्रकार से अगर देख रहे हैं तो पिटूनिया, फोलम, धतुरा सोलनफे फैमिली हो जाएगा। और कॉन्वोलुफे और सोलनफे जो पॉलीमोनियल्स ऑर्डर के अंदर आता है। और फिर पॉलीमोनियल्स का क्लास डाइकोटिलिडोनी आता है। मैंगो का मैंजीफेरा, एनाकार्डिफाई, सैपेंडल्स और फिर इसका है जो क्लास डाइकोटिलिडे आएगा और डिवीजन आ जाएगा एंजियोस्पर्माई। भीट का ट्रिटिकम, पुआसाई, पुअल्स, मोनोकोटिलिडे और एंजियोस्पर्माई आ जाएगा। कीमोटैक्सोनॉमी जो होता है यूज इन द प्लांट्स टू रिजॉल्व द कन्फ्यूजन, कीमोटैक्सोनॉमी का यूज करते हैं। और यूज द केमिकल कंस्टिट्यूएंट्स का है जो इसमें यूज किया जाता है। अब यहाँ पर है जो लिविंग वर्ल्ड का एनसीईआरटी देख लेते हैं। तो इसके एनसीईआरटी में है कि एनसीईआरटी इसका कहता है कि हाउ वंडरफुल, इसमें एनसीईआरटी बोल रहा है कि हाउ वंडरफुल इज द, इसका एनसीईआरटी कहता है कि हाउ वंडरफुल इज द लिविंग वर्ल्ड, द वाइड रेंज ऑफ द लिविंग टाइप इज अमेजिंग, द एक्स्ट्राऑर्डिनरी हैबिtat इन विच वी फाइंड लिविंग ऑर्गेनिज्म, be it cold mountains, deciduous forest, ocean water, freshwater lakes, desert, or the hot spring leaves of speechless. The variety of the galloping horses of the migrating birds, the value of the flower, or the attacking spark evolves awe and the deep sense of the wonder. The ecological conflict and the cooperation among the members of the population and among the population of a community, or even the molecular traffic inside a cell, make us deeply reflect on what indeed is life. This question is two implicit questions within it. The first is a technical one and fixed answer to what living is opposed to the non-living, and the second is a philosophical one and fixed answer to what the purpose of the life is. As scientists we shall not attempt answering the second question. इसके बाद फिर आगे बोलता है कि डाइवर्सिटी इन द लिविंग वर्ल्ड में, इफ यू लुक अराउंड यू विल सी अ लार्ज वेराइटी ऑफ द एनिमल living organism, be it potted plant, insects, bird, your pets, or the other animals on the plants. There are also several organisms that you cannot see with your naked eye, but they are all around you. If you were to increase the area that you make observation in, the range and the variety of organisms that you see would increase. Obviously, if you were to visit a dense forest, you would probably see a much greater number and the kinds of the living organism in it. Each different kind of the plants, animals, and organisms that you see represents a species. The number of the species that are known and described range between 1.1 to 1.8 million. This refers to the biodiversity of the number and the types of the organism present on the earth. We should remember that as the we explore new areas and even the old ones, new organisms are continuously being identified. As stated earlier, there are millions of the plants and animals in the world. We know that plants and animals in our own area by their local names. These local names would vary from place to place, even within a country. Probably you would recognize the confusion that would be created if we do not find ways and means to talk to each other to refer to the organism we are talking about. Hence, there is a need to understand the naming of the living organism such that a particular organism is known by the same name all over the world. This process is called a nomenclature. Obviously, nomenclature or naming is only possible when the organism is described correctly and we know to what organism the name is attached to. This is identification. In order to facilitate the study, a number of the scientists have established procedure to assign a scientific name to each known organism. This is acceptable to all biologists all over the world. For plants, scientific names are based on the aged principle and the criteria which are provided in the International Code of the Botanical Nomenclature (ICBN). You may ask, how are animals named? Animal taxonomists have evolved International Code for the Genealogical Nomenclature (ICJN). The scientific names ensure that each organism has only one name. Description of any organism would enable the people in any part of the world to arrive at the same name. They also ensure that such a name has not been used by any other known organism. Biologists follow universally accepted principle to provide the scientific names to the known organisms. Each name has two components, the generic name and the specific epithet. This system of providing a name with two components is called the binomial nomenclature. This naming system given by the Carnegie is being practiced by the biologists all over the world. This naming system uses a two-word format by found convenient. Let us take the example of the mango to understand the way of the providing scientific Names better. The scientific name of mango is written Mangifera indica. Let us see how it is binomial name. In this name, Mangifera depends the genus, while indica is a particular species or the specific epithet. Other universal rules of the nomenclature are as follow. Biological names are generally in the Latin and written in italics. They are Latinized or derived from the Latin irrespective of their origin. The first word is a biological name depends the genus, while the second components denote the specific epithet. Both the words in a biological name, when handwritten, are separately underlined or printed in italics to indicate their Latin origin. फिर इसमें कहता है the first word denoting the genus starts with a capital letter while the specific epithet starts with a small letter. It can be illustrated with the example of the Mangifera indica. Name of the author appears after the specific epithet at the end of the biological name and is written as the abbreviated form Mangifera indica Lin. It indicates that this species was first discovered by the Linnaeus. Since it is nearly impossible to study all living organisms, it is necessary to devise some means to make this possible. This process is classification. Classification is the process by which anything is grouped into convenient category based on some easily observable characters. For example, easily recognized dog groups such as the plants or the animals or the dog, cats and insects. The moment we use any of these terms, we associate certain characters with the organism in that group. What image do you see when you think of a dog? Obviously, each of us will see dogs and not cats. Now, if we were to think of the Alsatians, we know that what we are talking about. Similarly, suppose we were to say mammals, we would of course think of the mammals with external ears and the body hairs. Likewise, in the plants, if we try to talk of the beet, the picture in each of our mind will be of the beet plant, not of the rice or any other plants. Hence, all the dogs, cats, mammals, and the beet-derived plants, animals, etc. are convenient category. We use to study organism. The scientific terms for these category is the taxa. Here you must recognize that taxa can indicate category at different levels. Plant also forms a taxa. Beet is also a taxa. Similarly, animals, mammals, dogs are all taxa. But you know that a dog is a mammal and the mammals are animals. Therefore, animals, mammals, and dogs represent taxa at different levels. अब क्या कहता है कि hence the based on the characteristic all living organisms can be classified into different taxa. This process of classification is known as taxonomy. External and internal structure along with the structure of the field development process and the ecological information of the organism are essential and form the basis of the modern taxonomic studies. Hence, characterization, identification, classification, and the nomenclature are the processes that are basis of the taxonomy. Taxonomy is not something new. Human beings have always been interested in knowing more and more about the various kinds of the organism, particularly with reference to their own use. In early days, human beings needed to find sources for their basic needs of the food, clothing, and the shelter. Hence, the earliest classification were based on the use of the various organisms. Human beings since long not only interested in knowing more about different kinds of the organism and their diversity, but also the relationship among them. This branch of the study is referred to as the systematics. The word systematics is derived from the Latin word systema, which means systematic arrangement of the organism. Linnaeus used the Systema Naturae as the title of his publication. The scope of the systematic was later enlarged to include identification and the nomenclature and the classification. Systematics takes into account evolutionary relationship between the organism. फिर आता है taxonomic categories. तो classification is not a single step process but involves the hierarchy of the steps in which each step represents a rank or the category. Since the category is a part of overall taxonomic arrangement, it is called the taxonomic category, and the categories constitute a taxonomic hierarchy. Each category referred to as the unit of classification in fact represents a rank and is commonly known as the taxon, plural taxa. Taxonomic category and hierarchy can be illustrated by an example. Insects represent a group of the organism sharing common features like three pairs of the jointed legs. It means insects are more recognizable concrete objects which can be classified and thus were given a rank or the category. Can you name other groups of the organism? Remember, group represents category. Category further denotes rank. Each rank or the taxon in fact represents a unit of the classification. The taxonomic groups categorized are distinct biological entity and not merely morphological aggregates. Taxonomical study of all known organisms have led to the development of the common category known as such as the kingdom, phylum or the division for the plants, class, other family, genus, and the species. All organisms, including those in the plant and the animal kingdoms, have a species as the lowest category. Now, the question you may ask is how to place an organism in the various category. The basic requirement is the knowledge of the character of an individual or a group of the organism. This helps in identifying similarities and the dissimilarities among the individuals of the same kind of the organism, as well as the other kinds of the organism. Species. So, taxonomic study considered a group of the individual organisms with a fundamental similarity as a species. One should be able to distinguish one species from the other closely related species and based on the distinct morphological differences. Let us consider the Mangifera indica, Phallum, tuberosum potato, and the Panthera leo lion. All the three names indicate tuberosum and the leo represents the specific epithets. While the first birds Mangifera, Phallum, and the Panthera are the genera, the and represents another high level of the taxon or the category. Each genus may have one or more than one specific epithets representing different organism but having the morphological similarity. For example, Panthera has another specific epithet called the tigris, and the full name includes the species like the nigrum and the Melanogena. Human beings belong to the species Sapiens, which is grouped into genus Homo. The scientific name of the human being is written as the Homo sapiens. For genus comprises of a group of the related species which have more characters in common in compared to the species of the other genera. We can say that genera are the aggregates of the closely related species. For example, potato and the brinjal are the two different kinds of the species, but both belong to the genus Pholum. Lion, Panthera leo, leopard, Panthera pardus, and the tiger, Panthera tigris, with several common features, are all species of the genus Panthera. This genus differs from the another genus Felis, which includes the cats. Prata family. So the next category, family, is a group of related genera with a still less number of the similarities as compared to the genus and the species. Families are characteristic of the basis of the both vegetative and the reproductive feature of the plant species. Among the plants, for example, three different genera, Pholum, Petunia, and Datura, are placed in the family Pholnaceae. Among the animals, for example, genus Panthera, comprising lion, tiger, leopard, is put along with the genus Felis, cat, in the family Felidae. Similarly, if you observe the feature of a cat and a dog, you will find some similarity and some difference as well. They are separated into two different families, Felidae, Canidae respectively. फिर बात करते हैं ऑर्डर की. तो you have seen earlier that categories like the species, genus, and the family are based on the number of the similar characters. Generally, order and the other higher taxonomic category are identified based on the aggregates of the character. Other orders being a higher category is the assembly of the family which exhibits fewer similar characters. The similar characters are less in a number as compared to the different genera including in a family. Plant family like the Convolvulaceae are included in the order Polymonoles mainly based on the floral characters. The animal order of Carnivora includes the family like the Felidae and the Canidae. अब बात करते हैं क्लास की. This category includes the related orders. For example, order Primata comprising the monkey, gorilla, gibbon, placed in the class Mammalia along with other carnivora. That includes the animals like the tiger, cats, and the dog. Class Mammalia have the other orders also. Phylum. Classified comprise animals like the fishes, amphibians, reptiles, birds, along with the mammals constitute the next higher category called the phylum. All these based on the common feature like the presence of the notochord and the dorsal hollow neural system are included in the phylum Chordata. In case of the plants, classes with a few similar characters are refined to a higher category called the diffusion. Kingdom. All the animal kingdom belong to the various phyla refined to the highest category called the animal kingdom Animalia in the classification system of the animals. The kingdom Plantae, on the other hand, is distinct and comprises all plants from the various divisions. Henceforth, we will refer to these two groups as animals and the plant kingdom. The taxonomic category from the species kingdom have been shown in the ascending order starting with the species in the figure 1.1. These are the broad category. However, taxonomists have also developed subcategory in the hierarchy to facilitate more font and the scientific placement of the various taxa. Look at the hierarchy at the figure 1.1. Can you recall the basis of the arrangement? Say, for example, as we go higher from the species to the kingdom, the number of the common characteristics goes on increasing. Lower the taxa, more are the characteristics that are member with the taxon sphere. Higher the category, greater is the difficulty of determining the relationship of to the other taxa at the same level. Hence, the problem of classification becomes more complex. अब यहाँ पर दिया हुआ है स्पीसीज, जीनस, फैमिली, ऑर्डर, क्लास, डिवीजन और किंगडम का दिया हुआ है. फिर क्या आता है ऑर्गेनिज्म विद द टैक्सोनॉमिक कैटेगरीज. तो मैन का आता है होमो सैपियंस, होमो, होमिनिडे, प्राइमेटा, मैमलिया और कॉर्डेटा. हाउस फ्लाई का आता है मस्का, मस्को, डोप्टेरा, इंसेक्ट, आर्थ्रोपोडा. मैंगो का आता है मैंजीफेरा, अनाकार्डिफेरा, सेपेंडल्स, डियोकटले, अनजियोस्पर्माई. फीट का आता है टेटिकम एस्टिवम, टेटिकम पॉफई, पोएल्स, मोनोकोटिन, एंजियोस्पर्माई. फिर बात करते हैं समरी की. तो समरी में इसका है कि द लिविंग वर्ल्ड is rich in variety. Millions of plants and animals have been identified and described, but a large number still remains unknown. The very range of the organism in the terms of the size, color, habitat, physiological and the morphological feature make up the defining characteristic of the living organism. In order to facilitate the study of the kinds and the diversity of the organism, biologists have evolved certain rules and the principles of the identification, nomenclature and classification of organism. The branch of the knowledge dealing with these aspects we refer to as the taxonomy. The taxonomic study of the various species of the plants and animals are useful in agriculture, forestry, industry, and in general for knowing about the bioresources and their diversity. The basis of the taxonomy, like the identification, naming, and the classification of the organism, are universally evaluated under the international code based on the resemblance and the distinct feature differences. Each organism is identified and find a correct scientific biological name comprising the two words as per the biological system of the nomenclature. An organism occupies a role or the place in the system of classification. There are many categories, ranks, and generally referred to as the taxonomic category or the taxa. All a category constitute a taxonomic hierarchy. फिर यहाँ पर क्वेश्चन है कि वाई आर द लिविंग ऑर्गेनिज्म डिस्क्राइब इट, व्हाट आर द क्लासिफिकेशन सिस्टम चेंजिंग एवरी नाउ एंड देन, व्हाट डिफरेंट क्राइटेरिया वुड यू चूज टू क्लासिफाई पीपल दैट यू मीट ऑफन, व्हाट डू यू द आइडेंटिफिकेशन एंड द इंडिविजुअल्स, पॉपुलेशन गिवन बिलो द साइंटिफिक नेम में होगा एडवेंटिक करेक्टली तो मैंजिफेरा इंडिका ये वाला सही है। फिर आता है डिफाइन टैक्सॉन और ये सब दिए हुए। फिर